All right, hi everybody. Today we are going to look at the law of sines. And the law of sines is just a relationship in any triangle. So here you have triangle ABC. Now the capital letters are the vertices, the lowercase letters are the sides. And notice that the vertex A, or angle A, is across from side A, lowercase a. Vertex B or angle B is across from side B, and angle C is across from side C. So when you look at this relationship for the law of sine, which is true for any triangle, the sine of angle A divided by side A is equivalent to the sine of angle B divided by side B, which is equivalent to sine of C, angle C divided by side C. And that is always true in any triangle. You will only use two of these ratios in a problem, two at a time. Okay, so we're going to go down here to example 1. The directions here for examples 1 through 4 are to solve the triangle, which means find all missing measurements. We're going to round to the nearest hundredth, and when there isn't a picture, we want to sketch one so we know what's going on. Now, in number 1, triangle ABC is what we're working with. Angle B is 34 degrees, angle C is 100 degrees, and side B is 8. There's no picture, so the first thing I want to do is draw a picture. Now, I happen to like lined paper, so I am going to draw my picture on this lined paper, and I'm also going to move this up a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We have triangle ABC, and I just draw any old triangle. It's kind of just like my go-to triangle. Do notice that angle C is 100 degrees, so if I wanted to label it accurately, this would be C. So I might put angle A down here, angle B here, and then angle C up there. And then I want to plug in what I know. So angle B is 34 degrees, so that goes there. Angle C is 100 degrees, so that goes there. Then this like little B equals 8 is side B, so I have to go to angle B, go across. This is an 8. So what I want to do now is I want to solve for angle A. I need to get that, and then I need to get side A, which I'm going to put little a there, and side C. So those three things. All right? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move this aside and just work on this problem here with you. So basically when I look at this and I try to decide what to solve for, I'm thinking I have two angles. I might as well find the third angle using the triangle sum theorem. So what I know is that if I call that angle A, that if I add angle A plus 100 plus 34, it needs to add up to be a sum of 180, triangle sum theorem. So then of course 134 goes like so. Subtract 134 from 180. And we have that angle A is 180 minus 130 is 50, 46 degrees. So I'm going to quick add these two, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, so 180. Just checking my answer there. So angle A is 46 degrees. Done. Now I'm going to go ahead and find side C. Now here's the deal. I'm going to start doing some circling on my triangle. See how 34 degrees is across from 8, the side length of 8, and then 100 degrees is across from side C. But in those four pieces, I only have one missing part in the opposites. So that kind of indicates that I want to use the law of sine. And so I'm going to set it up like this. Sine of 34 over 8 is equal to the sine of 100 over C. So I have a proportion, and all I have to do now is cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply. Remember, cross products are equal. So boom, so that product is equal to this product right there. So this is the equation. Little c times sine 34 is equal to 8 times the sine of 100. So in essence, what I got to do is divide this side by the sine of 34. So I'm not even going to go to my calculator until I get this set up. So this sine 34 is going to cancel sine 34, and we're going to be left with C equals, and then I'm going to grab my calculator. Now on my calculator, I want to make sure that I am in radian mode here. Okay, so if you're not, or I'm sorry, in degree mode, so if you're not, make sure you're in degrees over here, like so. Just hit enter and you'll be good to go. Quit. And then I'm simply going to do 8. Let's see how you can see both things. I don't know, there's a little bit of a glare. But I'm going to do 8 sine 100, and then I want to close that parenthesis for sure, divided by sine 34. Enter. And I get 14, rounding to the nearest hundredth, like the directions say, would be 14.09. That is side C, 14.09. All right. Now the next thing I got to do is find side A. And notice that side A is across from angle A, of course. And right now I don't know angle A. I don't have it in here, but remember I found it back up here. It's 46 degrees. So I'm going to use that 46 degrees. And I'm going to use it with the 34 degrees across from the 8 because that is given information. And I maybe made a mistake on letter C or side C, so I probably don't want to use it unless I have to. So now I'm just going to set up a new equation with, I'm still using sine 34 over 8 equals, but this time I'm doing sine 46 over side A. All right, so we cross multiply again. So we're looking at A times the sine of 34 equals 8 times the sine of 46. I'm going to divide that sine of 34 over to the right so that I can get A by itself. And then I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to crunch this out. So I'm doing 8 sine 46, close that out, divided by sine 34. Enter, and I get 10 point, rounding to the nearest hundredth would be 0.29. And that is that first example from our note sheet. Okay? So that is just a very basic law of sine. So now we're going to look at example 2. So coming back to this piece of paper, example 2, they actually give us the picture already, and we are going to solve for angle F, angle N, and side F. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and redraw it on my paper. I just like to do this. So we're on number 2 on our note sheet, and I'm just drawing this triangle, and I got an F, U, N, which spells fun. This is a 6, in case you didn't know. This is a 105 degrees. This is a little f because it's across from angle F. This is given to be a 13. So in this one, we only have one angle, so we can't use the triangle sum theorem to find a missing angle, but we are going to use the law of sine. So notice how I have this one pair of opposite angle, opposite side, and then I have this little side here, which is opposite of an unknown. So again, if I do this like oval circly thing between the two I know and then this one, out of those 3 parts, or out of those 4 parts, I know 3 of them. So the law of sine is going to allow me to find that 4th part. Okay, so this is how we're going to set it up. We are going to use the one we know, both pieces, so we're going to set up sine of 105 over 13 equals sine of n. We don't know, it's a capital N, over 6. So that is the proportion. We're still going to cross multiply, so 6 times this sine of 105 is equal to 13 times sine of n. 6 sine 105 equals 13 times sine of n. And then notice here how we can calculate this. We're not going to do it just yet, but on this side I want to get this variable by itself. The only thing I can do right now is actually divide that 13 over. And so after I divide it over, I'm going to have the sine of n on the right because the 13's cancel. So then I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to do 6 sine 105, close that, divide by 13, and I get, I'm going to go 4 decimal places here, 0.4458 is equivalent to the sine of n. So now remember, back in 13.1 we reviewed how to find an angle when you know a trig ratio. So basically I take the inverse sine of both sides, so that cancels the sine, leaving me with angle n. So then again on my calculator I'm going to do an inverse sine, so you have to do second sine, and then you're putting in 0.4458. And you get 26.47 degrees is the missing angle n, rounded to the nearest hundredth. So there you go. Now once I have angle n though, up here I'm going to put it in pink here, 26.47. Now I can use the triangle sum theorem to find angle F. Alright, so what I know is that angle F plus 105 plus 26.47 has to equal 180. So then I'm going to do 105 plus 26.47, which is 131.47. That equals 180. Subtract that 131.47 over, and those cancel, so we have that angle F is 180 minus 131.47. And I got 48.53 degrees. Be sure to label angles. Okay, so now the last thing we have to find, because now we have this angle too, is we're going to find side F. And just like in the previous example, I'm going to use the law of sine again, but I'm going to use this ratio here with this given ratio. And so remember, right here is 48.53. I know it's kind of hard to read, but it is what it is. Okay, so off here, then I'm going to do another law of sine. I'm going to scooch this over a little bit. So we're looking at starting again with the sine of 105 over 13 equals the sine of 48.53 over little f, because I don't know it. So cross multiply, f times the sine of 105 equals 13 times the sine of 48.53. And so then I want to undo multiplication by dividing out the sine of 105 from the right side. And that's going to cancel the sine. I'm going to drop this way down to here. And so on my calculator, I am simply doing 13, let's clear this out, 13 sine 48.53, close that parenthesis, divided by sine of 105. Enter, and we get 10.08 as the missing side length. So you can use the law of sine to find a missing side length or to find a missing angle. You just kind of have to set up your proportion and then cross multiply. All right, until next time, do math.